What's up guys? So today we are here with Miguel and today is a very special interview because finally we have somebody here who can tell us more about Mexican culture and about Mexican people living in Los Angeles, because it's so many of Mexican people living here, much more than Czechs. Miguel bring me a great present. Guys, check it out. Ta-da! So, Miguel, first thing, thank you for the present. It's amazing.
You're welcome, brother.
Why all American or European or white people in general who go to Mexico, why they buy this and they come back and first thing they tell you is ¿Cómo estás?
Sombrero. Well, basically the sombrero is part of the Mexican culture.
So,
I don't want to say it's a stereotype, but it's something that in the past a lot of our ancestors will use a sombrero, protect you from the sun instead of a hat. Like nowadays, since people wear a hat, but back in the days, it was easier to get a sombrero because you see the material is made out of.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a type of plant that they handmade and they put it together to become a hat. So you have people working in the fields, and the better way to protect them from the sun will be a hat.
Dude,
So
it protects your
sombrero.
entire body because it's so big.
So just imagine yourself working in a field, picking fruit, vegetables. What a better way to protect you from the sun than a sombrero.
That's cool. Because I found it like that some Mexicans, they think that this is offensive when like a white people wear it, because I hardly see some Mexican actually wearing this.
Yeah,
you know, I never seen here Mexican people wearing this.
No.
At all.
Definitely not. That was more like in the past.
Yeah.
That's why I say our ancestors are the ones who wear it. And so it's like anything. People will find it offensive.
Yeah.
People will be like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Like me, if I see you with this, it's not offensive to me. I'll just be like, oh, cool. This is a sombrero. You wear a sombrero because you want to enjoy the sombrero.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Now, if it would be totally different, you wear the sombrero like, amigo, ¿cómo estás? And you try to start making fun of the culture, then I'll find that offensive.
Damn.
You know? But if you're just wearing it, like, hey, how you like my sombrero? Bring a cool comment about it, I'm going to comment about it, cool. But if it's something racist, then that's when people...
Yeah. Okay, because I saw it in the movies, I saw it in the westerns that they wear it, but I actually never seen it here. That's why I wanted to ask for a long time somebody who knows about this, like, what's up?
I think that's more like of the past.
You know,
how like the people from the, like Emiliano Zapata, all those ancestors from the past that fought in the war, in the revolution, that wear a sombrero.
Okay.
But nowadays, you don't really see people wearing sombreros.
Because this used to be Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Where we sit right now. Okay.
Used to be part of Mexico.
So, little bit about you. So you've been born, you were born in Mexico.
Yeah.
On what part of Mexico?
Yucatan, Mexico.
Yucatan, Mexico. So, because we did already one video together, the gas station where you used to work, and I was thinking about it, and I was also talking about this with a lot of my Czech friends, that when it comes to Mexico for Czech people, if I will ask any Czech person, name me one famous Mexican person you know, none of my friends here know any. They didn't know any like football player or somebody like really famous, like worldwide, you know? And that video with you has like 250,000 views or something like that. So for 250,000 people, you are the only Mexican they know. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most famous Mexican in Czech, Miguel. So that's pretty cool feeling, right?
I guess so.
We were thinking about it the other day with my friends. I'm like, hey, really, Miguel is the number one? And he's like, no way. I'm like, think of that. Okay, so that was just little what's up. So you were born in Mexico. Now you live here. What is the main difference between the life in Mexico and US?
So as much as I can remember is being in Mexico, it was a tough life. It wasn't easy. I see, for example, here. Well, it's not easy here either unless you have a great job and stuff like that. But me in Mexico, living in Mexico, it was, I want to say the most I can remember maybe when I was 5 till I was like 7, 8. I remember my dad coming over here first and him sending us money once a month. And with that money that he'll send us, we'll try to survive that whole month, which will be cereal, food. You basically live on a daily basis. And sometimes the money wouldn't be enough. My mom had to call him and be like, oh, I need a little more. So if he had it, he'll go ahead and send it, or else we just have to figure out how to survive, you know? Go to our grandparents' house maybe and have lunch there. Go to my other grandma's house and have dinner there. The next day, I'll probably go to my other aunt's and have lunch there, breakfast. Because jobs there is not so easy to find as here. you hardly find a job. And if you find a job, you don't get paid minimum wage, for example, 12, 13 bucks an hour there. You're making what? 500 pesos a week, which is now like $30, $40, which is nothing. What's $40 here? Nothing.
And 20 years ago, it was even worse, right?
Exactly. So,
Okay.
and then here, you know, you have a job, a decent job that pays you minimum wage, where you could like live, have a decent house, wear decent clothes, have food in your house, pay your rent, instead of being in Mexico and live tight. That's what it is.
Is every part of Mexico the same?
No. No, it's not. So, for example, I'm from like a small pueblo, not the city, a small pueblo. So, in the city, obviously, there's more job opportunities. There's way more stuff than in a pueblo. For example, at the pueblo, if you have to go to the market, there's no big markets. You have to go to the city. Exactly. Like a village.
Okay.
So, if you live in the city, you have a store a block, 2 blocks away, where you could go and purchase as much as you want. Not only that, but when you're living in the city, you have a better job than in the pueblo. You know, so that's how it works.
And when you think about like the geographic of Mexico, it's like the north, you know, obviously more like run by like cartels. It's more like wild because it's closer to the like U.S. border. The south is more like, I don't know.
I don't want to say
coast is more like a tourist destination.
I don't want to say peaceful or anything, but yes, if you're talking about that, I think that's more closer to like the borders, because in the borders, you know, that's where everybody wants
sombrero flew away.
Everybody wants to like have easy access to the borders. That way they control everything. And on the tourist side, you obviously want to have something because you have tourists.
Okay.
But I think it's mostly like on the border sides. Because from what I remember, like in Yucatan, there's not really anything like that. No cartels, no nothing.
No cartels.
But more on the other side, where like the border, Tijuana and everything else, that's where I believe that's where everything is happening.
So would you say that for somebody like me, somebody who is, you know, like obviously like white, is it like safe to go there, or like it really depends which area?
I think it depends what area you go to. You know, for example, you don't want to go to an area where you know it's dangerous and be fancy dressing, wearing a gold chain, because then you're attracting people. You're like, basically you're the spot, you're the target. He's wearing this. I don't have that. I want that chain. You know.
You don't understand their mindset at all, because they are living day by day in the way how you told me, and now you go there and you are showing the wealth.
Yes.
And they
so for example, if you go to a place where you have tourists, they know it's tourists the most, so it's more protected. You know. But if you go to a place where it's super dangerous and you don't care, you're wearing all your fancy clothes and you're wearing chains and a golden watch, like I said, you're an easy target for people to come and rob you, because they know you have money. They know you're wealthy. So what are they gonna want to take? Money, because they need money.
From your family perspective, do you see any improvements in Mexico in, like, say, last 20 years? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Is it the same? Is the life over there still like that hard? Or for your, let's say, for your family, which is in Mexico, like?
From my perspective, I see that I believe it's been a little easier, because now my uncles are a little older, so they work, they got a good job. Now one of my uncles has his own little business, so he has like a mini market store, and he survives out of that. You know, my other uncle, he works at a boat, so he basically leaves town. He leaves the pueblo to go to Cancun, which is a major city. So from there, he goes to a boat, and they go on the sea, and they work, I guess, getting petrol, gas, and all that. And he comes back once a month for like 2 weeks, and then he goes again for like 3 weeks.
Okay, it's interesting that you say that your uncle is not living out of the market, but you said he is surviving out of the market. Because he's not living, he's just trying to survive out of it. Wow, that's so. For you and people that you know, living here must be, I mean, it's not easy, but still, like, it's life.
Better than over
you are
there.
at least living, right?
Yes, better than over there for sure.
Right? Raising a child in Mexico or US? Pros and cons.
Definitely US. US, you have more, for example, you have more opportunities for your child to go to a better school, better education. As things go on and they graduate high school, they go to college, they graduate college, there's way more opportunities here.
And
a lot more
safer,
help.
right, too?
It's safer, yeah. And then they're able to become what they want to become in life. instead of being in Mexico, which is harder. In Mexico, for example, you go to school, and then as you get older, for example, when you go to high school, maybe your parents don't have money to pay for the books. So now you as a teenager, you gotta start working to help out your family. And then let's say you want to help out your family and pay for the books, money's not enough. So now you gotta decide between school or family or survive, you know? So some people that are a little bit wealthy, they pay their kids' education and then they become something in Mexico. But it's what? You think a lawyer from Mexico makes more money than a lawyer from here? No, obviously not. Or put it this way, a teacher from Mexico makes more money than a bus driver from here, for example. A bus driver here gets paid what? $15, $17 an hour, right? In Mexico, I'm not sure how much teachers get paid, but it doesn't compare. It's way more money.
And even if it would be same money for this education and those years, and you know, you have bus driver, which you know.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad job. I'm just saying like a example of a comparison.
Comparison.
Yes. You know, you worked you
have
basically
to study
work
10 years and then
you have a teacher's position, and here you go to the DMV, you get your Class A, Class B license, and you get a job right away.
You get a job
without going to school 10 years.
It's gonna be probably easier to get the job as well, because not too many people, what I know, want to be a bus driver.
Exactly.
But somebody must to do that, right? Because somebody needs to drive the buses. I never seen a Mexican person in my entire life before I got here. So first Mexican I saw was in the age of 20. Can you imagine that? It's crazy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So first time I saw the culture here, and then later on I realized that Chipotle is not Mexican, you know, then Taco Bell is shit, you know, and you told me a lot of those kind of stuff too, you know, so thank you for that. But how is, you know, we know that life here is better already, but how would you describe it?
Better, I'll say, because you have so many opportunities here, you know, so many opportunities, but you just got to set your mind to it, you know, you just got to, like, for example, if you dream big, you gotta go out there and chase that dream and become what you really want to become. You know, for example, let's say me, as a kid, I wanted to be
bus driver,
lawyer, right? So knowing that I don't have the opportunity in Mexico, I come here, I work hard, go to school, I have the support from my parents. I have because there's a lot of help.
Yeah.
A lot of help. Schools help you. You know, government helps you to go to school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you chase that dream to become that, and you work hard to be that, and you only focus on that, then you're able to become the lawyer that you want to be. But for example, if you come from a poor family that needs help paying the rent, paying other stuff, then you're going to focus more on helping out your family than going to school. I mean, you're able to do both.
Your starting position is worse.
Exactly.
Okay.
Instead of just focusing to going to school full time. You know?
Okay. How about the people here? How do they talk to you? If they know you're from Mexico, have you ever seen some hate towards you, or just because you're Mexican, or no?
No, for me, no. I've never experienced anything like that.
Because you also live in LA, right?
Yeah.
If you would go somewhere else, maybe you would go more like to flyover states or something. Maybe people. People would be like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" or something.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
That, right?
But here in LA, I've never experienced anything like that. And if I ever did, I don't think it will get over me, because I've learned to become a better person.
Exactly.
So maybe in the past, I'll try to fight them and be like, no, talking shit, now you're gonna handle yourself. Don't talk about my culture, my country. But nowadays,
like,
you mature and you're like,
whatever.
Doesn't hurt me. Words don't hurt me, you know? You can say whatever you want, and so as soon as we came here from Mexico, I lived in Inglewood, California for about 4 years, 5 years. Yeah. From there, I moved to Hawthorne for a year. Then I went back to Inglewood for, I want to say...
So in that area the entire time. Yeah. So it's pretty much be around your own people, right? Like it doesn't even feel like you left the country, right?
Yeah, exactly, because you have Hispanics everywhere. You have all kinds. You have African Americans, everybody.
It's mixed. But also you have your food everywhere, right? It's like, for me, there's no Czech restaurants here, no Czech food, nothing, no Czech candies, nothing, you know? So for you, that was probably easier to, like, to start living here, right? How it was with school, you know? You came here as a little kid.
Super hard.
Super hard.
Super hard, because
why?
When I came here, I spoke no English. You know, even nowadays, I still think I have an accent speaking English.
No, you don't.
So when I remember when I came here, I started here in 5th grade. So all the kids know English.
5th grade,
yeah.
wow.
So I remember going to school and crying, like the first week, the first 2 weeks crying because I wouldn't understand anybody. You see, you'll see the African American kids, you see the white kids, you see the Asians, and they will speak no Spanish. My teacher was white, so how was I supposed to communicate with them? You know, I spoke no English. So I remember crying all the time. Like my dad would drop us off, and I would just start crying. Like, and everybody would be like, "Why are you crying? Nothing's gonna happen. You know, you're okay. If you have a question, go ahead and ask me." Like I remember Hispanic students would be like, "Ask me, I'll help you out."
Really?
I'll go ahead and translate to the teacher. Yeah, but then there comes to a point where like they kind of get frustrated of you always asking help. So people start like kind of bullying you, like, "Oh, you don't speak English," and they start saying stuff, and you're like, "I don't know what you're saying, but I'm pretty sure you're making fun of me." But then you know, like back in the days, now you have schools that have anti-bullying, so they help out a lot of kids. But back in the days, kids were so bad. Yeah, exactly. But not really as in like, "Oh, you don't speak English. Oh, I want to fight you because you're making fun of me." Because I wouldn't understand what they were saying. But I saw it hard. Especially, for example, learning math is easy. Numbers. Anybody could do it. But when it comes to English, reading, writing, that was the hardest part. Especially when you had the whole entire class
against you.
Yeah. So let's say it was reading time. The teacher would be like, "Oh, bring out your book, go to page or chapter 35, for example." Now, everybody's going to read a paragraph on the story.
Oh, my God.
So, Michael, you start. You read the first paragraph.
That would be terrible.
Perfect.
That would be terrible.
Now, Miguel, your turn. So now I'm afraid because I never want to get chosen because my English is the worst. So I'll start reading, and as you start reading, you get stuck in a word, and the teacher kind of helps you, and you can hear the students giggling because they know you have an accent. They know you don't know how to read. So going through that, it was hard, dude. Really hard. But then as you progress, I remember what really helped me a lot was when we moved out of Inglewood and we moved to Hawthorne. The family we moved in with, they're from Costa Rica, you know, and their kids, they were Hispanic, but they wouldn't speak as much Spanish.
And they speak different Spanish, right?
And then the lady who really helped us a lot, she spoke Spanish, but on purpose, she'll speak to us in English. You know, and thanks to them, like we learned. So I remember picking up a lot from them. Because I remember I'll be talking to them, I'll try to talk to them in English, and I'll try to say something in Spanish to them, and I knew they wouldn't understand, and I'll get stuck. I'll just try to think of something like, "Oh, how do you say this?" And then I'll pick it up and I'll just be like, "Oh, this." And I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I get you." So little by little, that's how I started practicing my English, and I feel that's how my English got better. Thanks to them. Thanks to the family, dude.
That's so cool. There was a lot of people who were asking me a question like, is here the life for the Mexican people hard because people hate them? Because it's over all the time in the news, and everybody thinks like, but dude, you live within your own country pretty much here, right? So you feel like home. So would you say that all that is crap and like what's in the news is like you know,
it's all
crap
bullshit
and stuff?
Yeah, from my perspective, I think it's bullshit. Like,
you know,
like
I think that too because
you only hear in the news
what they want to tell you.
Yeah, like the news is always saying, "Oh, white people are hating Mexicans because they come and cross the border and this and that." But in the street, you never hear a person tell a Mexican or a Latino, "You don't belong in this state. Get the hell out of here."
I never hear it. Ever. You know? So every time I see it in the news that people are like, and new polls shows up and these hate that, that's just a bunch of crap to make you like, you know, pissed on the other ethnicity or, you know, or...
So put it this way, if you have someone you don't like, everybody thinks differently. You know, if there's a person I don't like, for example, I'm not gonna go to your face and be like, "I don't like you, bro." I'm gonna beat your ass up.
You will choke me, you will not say
I'll just be like, "I don't like you, I'll stay away from you, and you come and ask me a question, I'll try to answer it, and that's it." You know, you do your life, I do my life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I see it.
Okay. I can understand that life in Mexico is hard, so everybody wants to like come here in US, right? Especially it's like not far. It's literally 300 miles south and it's Mexico, different world. There's a fence, right, on some certain parts. You think that this is kind of like effective, or literally anybody who will just stand up and decide, okay, I want to get to US, will eventually get to US at some point?
That's what it is.
Yeah. So it's really only about their like a
decision and having the money.
Having the money. And is it like a lot of money, or is it like in hundreds of or thousands?
Let's say we're in the thousands.
In the thousands. So it's not like 10,000 and more. It's like, it also depends from what part of Mexico they come from, right?
Yeah.
So if they have to go from the south, right?
Yeah. So if you have to cross all over Mexico, then it's more. Or if, for example, you're here and you got to cross to your neighbor, you just hop in the fence and it's less work. But if you're coming from, for example, 4 houses down the street. You have to cross 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
More work.
Okay, got it. So pretty much this cannot be stopped.
No.
Unless they like separate
no matter
the continent with like an ocean or something.
No matter, yeah, exactly. So you know how the president now says the wall.
Yeah.
He could build his wall. People are gonna get over it.
Yeah.
They're gonna get under it.
They're gonna get under it over.
No matter what, they're gonna find a way to do it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
because they have nothing to lose really, right?
No.
They only can gain.
Put you back.
Yeah.
You get caught, take you back, and then you try again.
Yeah, they only can gain something in their life. If they make it, they're gonna be better.
Exactly.
If they lose, they will try again.
Put it this way, you know the UFC fighter Cain Velasquez, right?
Yeah.
So his story is his dad, when he was younger, when he came here to the United States, he got caught 7 times by immigration. 7 times.
And now UFC.
And he tried it again, and he made it here. As he made it here, he was like, I want to give my kids a better life. He tried it the 8th time, he made it, started working. His family started growing. Look at him now.
Yeah, because he has the opportunity and the hard work, and he was able to do it. Yeah, okay.
It's as much as you try, and how bad you really want it.
So now when you see, like, let's say your daughter, how she's growing up, and compared to you, how you were growing up, because she's not in 5th grade, right?
No, she's in 3rd grade.
She's in 3rd grade, so she's actually younger. So at her age, you were still in Mexico. So when you compare her to you, like, you see the difference?
Yes.
Big difference?
Yeah, big difference.
Big difference?
Big
You don't have to go...
Well, put it this way. In my family, it was 3 of us. Me, my brother, my sister.
Only 3?
I have another one, but the other one was born afterwards.
Oh.
But it was 3 of us first. So if at that time only my dad was working. So let's say, for example, he was making $800 every 15 days. It would be 4 mouths to feed plus his, so 5 of us. So whatever money he made, he had to pay the rent, put food in our mouths, which is 4 of us, put clothes and everything, right? So it was splitting into 4. Now with her, it's just her, my daughter. So it's just her. Me and my wife both work, so it's a little easier. Now we're able to provide for her a little more than what my parents provided for me. So.
But you are not spoiling her, right?
No, obviously not. You can't spoil a child, because then it'll get out of hand. You know. So whatever she needs, we try to provide the best for her. Give her everything she needs, and most importantly, give her tips for school, like
education.
You got to go to school. Like my wife's a perfect example. You know, she got pregnant as a teenager, and a lot of people were telling her, "Oh, you're done."
Who was that bad guy who did that? Who was this bad guy?
So you have a lot of people telling her, "Oh, you won't be able to succeed because now you're pregnant. Now you got to worry about your child." Yeah. And she totally proved them wrong. Like she proved them wrong. She was like,
"But
nope.
she had to stop at school, right?"
No.
No, she continued.
She went 9 months pregnant in school. You know?
Wow.
Like she went to school,
I thought
and
she
then
stopped and then she like started over.
No. She went to school like full pregnancy term, and then our baby was born. And then from there she took like a month, 2 months off. But during that time it was summer vacation, so once she was done, she went back to college, and she was a part-time student. You know, and then I was like, you know something, I don't want you to work, just focus in school, because I know that education is the way to succeed. So I'll tell her, oh no, don't get a job. I'll try to like work and support the family. Just focus on school. And you know, thank God it paid off, man. Like me working, now she's RN. So she's working. And
that's good.
Now I put her as an example to my daughter. I said, like, you know, don't have kids at a young age, because if you don't, you have so much opportunity to become whatever you want.
Yes.
You could be a full-time student and become a doctor, become a nurse, become a lawyer, whatever you want to be, you know? And you don't have to worry about going home and taking care of your kid or none of that.
And study and part-time job and how you're going to do this and that. Just
focus on school, and as long as you can focus in school, you could become whatever you want. You know, for example, we're driving down the street and she sees a Range Rover and she goes like, I want a Range Rover. If you keep going to school and you work hard, you're going to be able to get whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Oh, you want a big home? You're able to afford a big home. Go to school. Finish school. Get a good career, and you'll see you get whatever you want.
Yeah, you will get whatever
you
want.
So we really like tell her to focus in school. You know, she's a little small, but hopefully.
Yeah. You still have. Like, you will be reminding this to her for long time.
Yeah. And like I said, my wife is a perfect example.
Yeah.
If
plus
she did it.
Plus also you're gonna be young parents too.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
so the generation gap is not gonna be that big. So she will still take you more seriously than somebody who would be 60 and she would be 20, and you know, you'd be like, oh, what do you know about today's world.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like, you know,
Exactly.
my dad is still cool, you know. You know.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
So I think now it's time for the questions from you know, comments. We're gonna pick 3, some really cool questions what you guys asked. Let's go for it. We already mentioned that you feel like a home here, people here, they accept you, but do they still look at you as a foreigner or as an American? Or as a Mexican?
I think that's foreigner.
As a foreigner. Oh, dude, I see why the life in Mexico is hard. Your head can fly away anytime and you have to work an entire day to afford a new one. I'll make it really tight. So there's one guy and he's inviting you and all your 80 cousins to visit his family house, that he's gonna give you our drink which is called slivovice. It's made out of plums and it's gonna kill you.
First of all, whoever the person is, I don't have 80 cousins. I have 90.
So one thing I forget to ask, why everybody over there is having like so many kids? Like, is it like because not all of them, let's say, can make it to like adulthood or something like that?
That's more like in the past.
Really?
Like, yeah,
So now
like
it's
more like for
now-
grandparents or great grandparents, you know? So it's like,
But it was similar in Czech too. My great grandmother had 8 kids.
yeah, put it this way.
You know, so,
back
yeah.
in the days, I don't think there was as much protection as nowadays.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever you did was without protection.
And there was no TV,
Exactly.
no TV too. So you are
So
bored at
there you go.
evening, right? And
So
no YouTube.
Yeah, nowadays, so you have so much stuff to
Yeah.
protect yourself with. Then you could decide as like, oh, I want to have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, as many kids as you want, but
So do you feel like you lost your Spanish since you are here?
no.
No?
My Spanish is still.
It's still sharp.
Mi español está chingón, al 100% siempre.
Oh. I will just translate it as an error. It's okay. I always do. So, do the Mexicans usually stick with another Mexicans, and are they strictly loyal, like to Mexicans as well, or no?
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Okay.
Like me, for example, you know, in my family we have friends. The family from Costa Rica, you know, they're really close friends. They're family to us. So we always gather together on Sundays, and we have no trouble like meeting up with people from, you know, like for example at the academy you have people from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, my friend Sebastian's from Argentina and he's a super good friend. You from Czech and you're a good friend.
Yeah.
I have Brazilian friends, Stefan. Everybody. You know, you have Asians that are super cool friends with you. You have white people that are super cool with
everybody.
you. And we're all family. You know, so and then you do have other Mexicans, I'm pretty sure, that just want to stick to Mexicans, and that's them. But not me. You know, I'm freely to like, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. You know, you share your culture with me, I'll share my culture with you. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it.
There's so many questions, as I can see, when people are mentioning Mexico and crime. So we talk about it a little bit, but from your own perspective, have you ever seen any like cartel crime happening or something over there, or somebody from your family or your cousins, or you know, because people are asking about this topic a lot in comments, like.
Well, since I've lived here my whole, basically more than half of my life, I can't really speak for that. But from my family that I have there, I have no experiences or any stories to tell you guys about the cartels. Because like I said, that's
if
more
you're
like in
not part
the border.
of it.
Yeah, if you're not part of it, I believe they won't mess with you. And if you have something to do with it, then obviously if you're an enemy, they're going to come after you. But if you have nothing to do, you mind your own business, you're all good. For example, here, you know, if you're into gangs, gangs are gonna come after you.
Same thing, right?
If you're not into gangs, you don't dress like a gangster, you don't act like a gangster, then you have no trouble going anywhere. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
the way I see
But
it.
I can see that people here in comments, they're mentioning it all the time because they see it in news and in TV and you know and
News.
and exactly, and they think it's right, you know. And it's probably accurate, you know,
Yeah,
like
it
when it
probably
comes
is.
to like the north, you know, and but come on, from the area where you are, you know, when you were born, you know,
Yeah.
I understand that, you know. I remember when you invited me for your birthday, and that's gonna be my last question. I saw a part of your culture that night. The entire family got together. The entire family celebrate together. There was a part family of yourself and also of your wife, right? So it wasn't just yours. There was a lot of girls and guys. Guys sit different spot. Guys sit on different spot than girls. They have their own fun, but then they go dance together, right? And even the guy who is like shy, ugly, fat will go and like ask a girl and she's gonna go dance with him, and everybody's just wasted, and you have live band. So how about like this culture? Do you feel like Mexican people here, they care more about the Mexican culture than people in Mexico, because over there their life is harder and they have other things to like do during the day than like celebrate or do something? Do you feel like that you here care about Mexican tradition more than people over there, or it depends?
I'm gonna put it from my perspective, because I can't speak for everybody else.
Of course, yeah.
But when it comes to a celebration in my family, like when you're celebrating someone's birthday, anniversaries, it's something really important. You know, you really want to celebrate, especially because you never know, you don't have life, but you never know how long you're gonna live. So it could be my last birthday, and if you didn't celebrate it, you're done. So I mean, if that's why I see it. Like, for example, a quinceañera party is huge, you know, Mexican culture.
What is that?
A quinceañera, when a young lady turns 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
That means she's going in the stage of becoming a woman. So they
15.
do 15, yeah. They do a huge celebration, you know, where they gather like a lot of padrinos, like godparents, and they
a lot of vatos.
Yeah, they gather up to like help out the family and celebrate a big celebration, you know, because it's something important.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in Mexico, you know. Mexico, if you have a quinceañera coming up, it's a big celebration. Sometimes the parents work. For example, they buy a small cow, they grow it, and they kill it when it comes to the 15th.
So they raise it for
it for that event.
Wow. Okay. Last thing. Tell people what vato means.
Vato means guy, like a guy.
Because he sent me a movie about like beginning of LA, gangs, cartels, right, in 70s. The movie is 3 hours long. It's called
Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out, but in English it was like a honor of blood or something like this, right? And I was watching the movie and they were still saying vato, vato, vato. And I'm like, I never hear this like English word ever. And then I look it up and I'm like, damn, that's from Spanish. That's why I don't understand. And then I had to watch like some certain parts of the movie again because I realized they speak half of the movie in Spanish. So I was kind of lost. So now I know that vato means guy or like bro dude. Or some dude.
Like dude. Like, for example, the Czech dude.
Czech dude.
El vato de República Checa, you know? The Mexican vato.
Can you say it one more time?
El vato.
El vato República Checa.
De República Checa.
El vato de República Checa.
That means
yeah,
guy from Czech.
All right, thank you, bro.
You got it, man.
That was it for today. Everything you just hear was just a little piece, you know. So if you guys wanna know more, as always, you have an option to write it down in the comments. And maybe in future we're gonna do a second chapter when Miguel will answer more of your questions, less of my questions, and we'll tell you more about the way how it works, because not everything you hear in the news is true.
Exactly.
And I would say that major part of that is bullshit.
Me too.
All right. Thank you for the present. Thank you for coming. And see you guys next time.
Take care.